Dear students, in this module we shall study about the addition of Grignard reagents. Grignard reagents, that is RMGX, that you are already aware, they are very versatile and useful reagents to carry out various organic synthesis. They will be giving you ready made nucleophiles available as R minus in the RMGX. They will be very useful to give you addition reactions by reacting on carbonyl compounds, aldehydes, ketones. Some of this you have already studied, we shall go into more details, and then other functional groups. Dear students, after studying this module, you shall be able to know about the Grignard reagent and how it is synthesized. You shall be able to learn about the reactions of Grignard reagent with carbonyl compounds, that is aldehydes and ketones. You shall be able to identify the various intermediate transition states which are involved when the Grignard reagents react with carbonyl compounds as well as with alkenes. You shall be able to evaluate the effect of solvent on the Grignard reagent, and we shall extend this study to organolithium compounds and understand the importance of Grignard reagent in the industry. Let us begin with the introduction. Organomagnesium compounds, they are frequently called Grignard reagents, and this is named after their discoverer. They are an important class of extremely reactive chemical compounds which are used in the synthesis of hydrocarbons, alcohols, carboxylic acids and other compounds. They are prepared by adding an alkyl halide to magnesium shavings being stirred in anhydrous diethyl ether or THF as solvent. As you can see here in this reaction shown for the preparation, the magnesium gets inserted between the carbon and the halogen. So, here in this reaction you can see when bromobenzene reacts with magnesium in the presence of anhydrous ether, we get the phenyl magnesium bromide, which is Grignard reagent. So, in general it is the alkyl halide with magnesium giving you RMGX, and these R or AR MGX, they are the Grignard reagent. The carbon magnesium bond in these Grignard reagents is covalent and not ionic. The actual structure of Grignard reagents in solution has been a matter of much controversy over the years. In 1929, it was discovered that the addition of dioxane to an ethereal Grignard solution precipitates all the magnesium halide and leaves a solution of R2Mg in ether. That is, there cannot be any RMGX in the solution since there is no halide. And this equilibrium that you can see here, which is now called the Schlanck equilibrium, was proposed as the composition of Grignard solution. And you can see here in this equilibrium, RMGX is in equilibrium with R2Mg plus MgX2, and further it is R2Mg plus MgX2 which is associated. So, this is the Schlanck equilibrium, and here this species which is R2Mg with MgX2 is this species is a complex. So, after knowing this brief about the Grignard reagents and how it exists in solution, let us go and learn more about the preparation of Grignard reagent, that is its mechanism in detail. If we talk about the mechanism of preparation of Grignard reagent, the carbon atom of organic halide which is directly attached to the halogen is of course the electrophile, that is it will be acting as the electrophilic species, and this electrophilic reactivity can be switched to nucleophilic reactivity by conversion to an organomagnesium halide, that is a Grignard reagent. So, Rx, where you are aware the nucleophiles can readily attack on this R which is electron deficient. Now, this R can be made electron rich by converting this into the Grignard reagent. The carbon magnesium bond in a Grignard reagent is polar and covalent, with the carbon being the negative end of the dipole. Thus, the nucleophilicity of carbon in a Grignard reagent is now ensured. And note that the magnesium halogen bond is largely ionic. The mechanism of formation, if we talk about of Grignard reagent, you can see as it is shown here, and this involves a radical mechanism, that is there are radical intermediates. And there is one major difference that should be noted: the Grignard formation does not involve a radical chain mechanism, unlike the other radical mechanisms which are chain. It is a non-chain radical reaction, and you can clearly see here the first step is Rx reacts with magnesium, and this is the rate determining step where there is a formation of alkyl radical and X minus and Mg plus. In the next step, this R radical, that is the alkyl free radical, will be taking another species, that is from magnesium, it will take another electron and form this bond, that is RMgX. So, there is the formation of RMgX as you can see here, but there is this covalent bond between R and Mg. So, as I told you, the first step is rate determining and involves the transfer of one electron from magnesium out of the two electrons in its valence shell to the carbon halogen bond, and this will form Mg plus, which is a radical, and then this further couples with the alkyl radical which is formed. Now, talking about the effect of solvent. Organomagnesium as well as organolithium compounds are such strong bases that they will react immediately with any acid that is present in the reaction mixture, even with very weak acids such as water and alcohol. And when this happens, the organometallic compound is converted into alkane, because the C minus will take the H plus out of this water or alcohol and then get converted into CH, that is alkane. If D2O is used in place of water, then you will get a deuterated compound. So, this one of the example you can see as shown here, that is this particular 2-bromobutane, when reacted with magnesium you get this particular Grignard. On reaction with water, the MgBr gets replaced with H, but on reaction with D2O, the MgBr gets replaced with D. So, this means that Grignard reagents and organolithium compounds, they cannot be prepared from compounds which themselves contain acidic groups like OH, NH2, NHR, SH, COOH groups, etc. So, when you are having alkyl halides with these functionalities as additional present, then you cannot prepare the Grignard. So, you should try to block them or introduce them later while preparing these Grignard. Because even trace amounts of moisture can destroy an organometallic compound, it is important that all reagents must be dry when organometallic compounds are being synthesized and when they are being reacted with other reagents or substrates. So, when we talk about solvents, obviously diethyl ether is a specially good solvent for the formation of Grignard reagents as well as for their further reaction, because the ethers are non-acidic, aprotic. So, Grignard reagents are quite stable in ethers. Another reason for ethers being good solvents for Grignard reagents is that the MgX bond is ionic and thus benefits greatly from being effectively solvated. The formation of ions in very non-polar solvents where they should not be effectively solvated is very difficult. Ethers are surprisingly good at solvating cations because the CO bond is relatively polar, thus allowing the oxygen end of the ether dipole to solvate and stabilize electrostatically the magnesium ion, as you can see here. Now, let us move to studying some reactions of Grignard reagent, and let us begin with reacting with the aldehydes and ketones. Addition of a Grignard reagent to a carbonyl compound is a versatile reaction that leads to the formation of a new bond. The reaction can produce compounds with a variety of structures because both the structure of the carbonyl compound and the structure of Grignard reagent can be varied. A Grignard reagent reacts as if it were a carbanion or a nucleophile, and you can see this example, the CH3CH2Br with magnesium ether, you get CH3CH2MgBr. So, this Grignard, that is the ethyl magnesium bromide in this case, will react as if you are reacting CH3CH2 minus and MgBr plus and treating it with a substrate. Attack of Grignard reagent on a carbonyl carbon forms an alkoxide ion that is complex with magnesium ion, and later on its hydrolysis, that is the addition of water or dilute acid, will break that complex and give rise to the final product. So, let us look at some examples and try to understand how the Grignard reagents will be carrying out this addition reaction. So, first of all, let us discuss the reaction with formaldehyde, the simplest aldehyde. So, here as you can see, the Grignard reagent will readily react with formaldehyde, and now you will get the primary alcohol. For example, here this particular butyl part of the butyl magnesium bromide will attack as a carbanion or as a nucleophile on the carbonyl carbon, which is electron deficient, and as a result there is formation of O minus with MgBr plus, which on hydrolysis will give you corresponding alcohol, that is here you will get the 1-pentanol, which is a primary alcohol. Talking about reaction with other aldehydes, in these cases you will get a secondary alcohol. For example, let us consider this particular case. Here you can say starting with this propanol and reacting it with this particular Grignard, which is cyclohexyl magnesium chloride, and followed by hydrolysis, we will be getting this particular secondary alcohol. What happens when the Grignards are reacted with ketones? In this case, you will get a tertiary alcohol. For example, let us consider this particular ketone, which is 2-butanone, and when this is reacted with this cyclohexyl magnesium chloride, then we get this particular tertiary alcohol in this case. And notice that this Grignard part is getting attached to the carbonyl carbon. So, you should be able to identify that part from the structure, and you can go back to the starting molecule if you are given an unknown molecule in a question. Talking about why do Grignard reagent react with carbonyl compounds? The bond between the carbon atom and the magnesium is polar. Carbon is more electronegative than magnesium, that you are already aware, and so the bonding pair of electrons is pulled more towards the carbon, and that leaves the carbon atom with a slight negative charge. The carbon oxygen double bond is also highly polar with significant amount of positive charge on the carbon atom. Hence, the Grignard reagent can attack as a nucleophile on this carbonyl carbon, and it further gives rise to the alkoxide ion, which is stabilized by Mgx plus, and later on hydrolysis you get the corresponding OH. Looking at the transition state model for the Grignard addition reaction to a carbonyl compound, look at this is how the transition state has been depicted. So, the R and Mgx, they are simultaneously attacked. It is not that actually the one by one attack happens. So, there is a transition state which forms, and then next step will be the formation of the alkoxide stabilized by the Mgx. So, the alkoxide character is derived from this product P character of the transition state as shown here, and this alkoxide character is further stabilized by covalent and ionic bonding to the magnesium ion. The MgO bond is very stable one in this particular case. And a final factor which makes the transition state an especially favorable one is the electrostatic attraction between the positively charged carbonyl carbon and the partially negatively charged carbon of the Grignard reagent, as you can see here, and this derives from the reactant R character in the transition state. Properly positioned reactants, of course, they will be there, and that is how it will be the formation. So, what we can say is the initial mechanism that we studied, that in understanding it is okay, the nucleophile attacks and this formation of O minus, but actually that is happening very simultaneously through this transition state, where R minus and MgX plus, they are simultaneously adding to the carbonyl bond and giving you this intermediate transition state, which further gives rise to the alkoxide ion, which on later hydrolysis will give you the alcohol. The transition state model for the hypothetical addition of a Grignard reagent to an alkene also let us try to study. By simply substituting the carbon of oxygen in the transition state model for addition to a carbonyl group, that is, in place of oxygen if we put carbon, then we obviously get a alkene, and this alkene will be giving you this particular transition state, very analogous to the hypothetical addition of the Grignard reagent to an alkene. But we use this method of competing transition states to compare the relative merits of these two reactions, because this is hypothetical. As you are aware, alkenes will not be readily attacked by the nucleophiles. The carbanion character, if you look here, is much less favorable than the oxyanion character. The magnesium carbon bond character is less favorable than the magnesium oxygen bond character in the transition state when you have the attack on carbonyl. The electrostatic attraction, if we talk about, it is present in the carbonyl addition transition state, but it is simply missing when you talk about the hypothetical alkene and Grignard transition state, because the alkene pi bond is not polar. Consequently, since all these effects favor the transition state of the Grignard addition to carbonyl compounds to be more favorable than the transition state for addition to an alkene. So, this type of addition does not happen with the simple alkenes, but it will happen readily with the carbonyl compounds. Let us move to some more reactions of Grignard reagent. Now, we will study the reaction with esters. When an ester reacts with a Grignard reagent, the first reaction is a nucleophilic acyl substitution reaction, because an ester, unlike an aldehyde or a ketone, has a group that will be replaced by the Grignard reagent, because that is a good leaving group. In case of carbonyl of aldehydes and ketones, there was nucleophilic addition happening with the Grignard and reaction stopping there. But here the attack happens as nucleophile from the Grignard, and then there is a good leaving group which goes out. The product of the reaction at the first stage is a ketone, but the reaction will not stop here, because just now we have seen the ketones also react with Grignard. So, the ketones will be further attacking with the Grignard, and it will give you the formation of the alcohol. And in this case, obviously there will be a tertiary alcohol form, except if you start with the formate ester, in which case there will be formation of a secondary alcohol. So, here in general largely, so when the tertiary alcohol is formed, it is formed as a result of two successive reactions with the Grignard reagent, and note that the alcohol will have the two identical groups bonded to this type of tertiary carbon. Talking about the mechanism, let us now look at the mechanism of how the ester react with Grignard reagent, giving ketone and then further reacting to give alcohol. So, as you can see here in this mechanism, when this particular ester is reacted with the Grignard CH3 MgBr, the CH3 minus will be attacking on the carbonyl carbon. The pi electrons of the carbonyl bond, they move toward oxygen, giving you this O minus, and this transition state, this O minus will be making this OCH3, which is a good leaving group, go out, and there is the first level product of the nucleophilic acyl substitution, which is formed as this particular ketone. This ketone then further reacts with Grignard, and now the CH3 will be attacking on this carbonyl carbon of the ketone and giving you again this alkoxide ion which is stabilized by MgBr plus, and later on hydrolysis this is the tertiary alcohol that we get. And notice that in this tertiary alcohol these two methyls are there from the Grignard's part. So, they are the alkyl of the Grignard part. After this, let us now move to understanding the reaction of Grignard with acid chlorides. In case of acid chlorides also, we will be having the formation of tertiary alcohols, except when we start with formyl chloride. In that case, you will get a secondary alcohol. So, as you can see here, this butyryl chloride when reacted with 2 moles of ethyl magnesium bromide as the Grignard followed by hydrolysis, first the ethyl will be attacking on this carbonyl of COCl followed by removal of Cl minus, give you a ketone intermediate, and another mole will be attacking to give you this particular tertiary alcohol. And again here notice that this carbon directly joined to OH is joined to 2 ethyl groups, and these 2 ethyl groups are a part of the Grignard reagent. In theory we should be able to stop this reaction at the ketone stage, but just like the ester case, ketones are very reactive towards Grignard, so it will be further going to the tertiary alcohol stage. Coming to the reaction with carbon dioxide. When Grignard reagents react with carbon dioxide followed by hydrolysis, they will give rise to carboxylic acids, and this is how we can understand this. RMgX when react with CO2, then the R minus obviously through that transition state will be attacking on this carbon which is electron deficient, giving you this particular RCOOMgX, which later on after hydrolysis you get the free carboxylic acid, that is RCOOH here. Talking about the reactions with nitriles, Grignard reagents also react with nitriles, that is the C triple bond N where carbon is electron deficient. The Grignard will attack there, and followed by hydrolysis you will get the ketone. So, as you can see here, RCN when reacted with CH3MgI as the Grignard, say for example, the CH3 minus attacks on the carbon, then you have the formation of N minus which is stabilized by MgI plus in this case, and this on hydrolysis will be giving you ketone. Now, very important thing, this ketone is not giving you further alcohol formation because you have already done the hydrolysis, and whatever extra Grignard will also get destroyed, and now this ketone is free, that is in this case you will not have the formation of further alcohol as we have discussed with acid chloride or esters. Talking about reactions with oxiranes or epoxides. Grignard reagents, they add readily to epoxides to form carbon-carbon bonds, and one thing to keep in mind here is that the tendency is for them to add to the less substituted end of the epoxide, that is with a less steric hindrance. And we can think of this reaction as being essentially similar to SN2 reaction. After the addition of acid or hydrolysis done, we will get the corresponding alcohol. For example, as you can see here, this particular epoxide when reacted with this Grignard, which is isopropyl magnesium bromide, will be this isopropyl carbanion through this particular position will be attacking on this carbon of this oxirane, and the ring opening happens, which followed by hydrolysis will give you this particular alcohol. Let us now talk about the industrial applications of Grignard reagent. Production of Grignard reagent requires various industrial techniques. If we talk about the preparation itself, for the raw material and solvent dehydration or drying, heat reduction, etc. Grignard reagents produced by employing these techniques are used to produce organometallic compounds, which are other compounds like organotin compounds, organosilicon compounds and organoboron compounds, which are also very well used as primary materials and intermediates for further pharmaceuticals and agrochemicals. Grignard reagents are widely used to produce organometallic compounds on an industrial scale, you can say, and let us consider some examples of the metals, semi-metals and other metallic species that are produced industrially and their application. So, first of all let us take the organotin compounds. Various organotin compounds can be produced by reacting Grignard reagents with tin tetrachloride. Organotin compounds are used as stabilizer for vinyl chloride resins, catalyst for hardening urethane, catalyst for hardening silicon resin and other industrial purpose. And this can be summed up as shown here, that is SnCl4 when reacts with RMgX you get first RSnCl3, with mole of RMgX you get R2SnCl2, with another mole you get R3SnCl and with another mole you get R4SN. Another application is the preparation of organosilicon compounds. So, after the organotin, let us see how the Grignard reagents are used to prepare organosilicon compounds. Combination of Grignard reagents and suitable type of raw silicon compounds, they enable the production of various kinds of symmetric and asymmetric di, tri and tetra organosilicon compounds. And these compounds are used as protective groups in organic synthesis, metallocene catalyst materials for olefin polymerization and intermediates in pharmaceutical synthesis. So, this you can see here that this is how they can be formation of these various types of the organosilicon compounds, that is starting with SiCl4 with Grignard and further reacting with more Grignard you can get these compounds. Similarly, with the SiOMe4 with Grignard, and you can have HSiCl3 with Grignard where you get these various silicon derivatives. After that, let us try to know what are the organophosphorus compounds which can be prepared with the help of Grignard. The phosphine compound is a typical example of industrially useful organophosphorus compounds which are produced using Grignard reagents. Phosphine compounds which can be made from Grignard reagents and halide phosphates, they are used as Wittig reagents for vitamin synthesis, the additives for various synthetic resins and for various other applications. The phosphonous salt can be produced by reacting the R3P with an alkyl halide, that is you will be getting the R3PR with plus on positive and X minus, or in general you can say R4P plus X minus, and these salts are very useful as phase transfer catalyst that you will study in detail later. So, you can see here in the example that if you have to prepare this R3P, you can start with PCl3 and do the reaction with 3 moles of Grignard reagent and it will be giving you the R3P. So, we have seen how the Grignard reagents can be prepared, how they can be used for reaction with various functional groups, and then what other organometallic compounds can be prepared using these Grignard reagents. So, dear students, let us now summarize what we have learnt in this module. We have studied that Grignard reagents and organolithium compounds are the most common organometallic compounds which contain carbon metal bond, and in this particular module we had focused our study on the Grignard reagents. But you have to keep this thing in mind while preparing them, that they cannot be prepared from the compounds which contain acidic groups in them like OH or NH2 or COH, etc. The carbon atom attached to the halogen in the alkyl halide is an electrophile, whereas once it is converted into Grignard, it becomes a nucleophile. So, this is a very good change and which is being exploited, that is where it will be attacking as a nucleophile and reacting with various electrophilic functional groups like carbonyl, aldehydes, ketones, esters, acid chlorides and so on. So, we have studied all these reactions and how it is giving you variety of other functional groups.